Don't mind me because I'm drinking a protein shake. Sorry.
Do your thing, bro. All right.
I'm-
3. No, wait. All right. 3, 2, 1. What's up, Stick Squad? It's time to talk that stick. Conference championship games. We're going to run that back. What's up, Stick Squad? It's time to talk that stick. Conference championship games. The tournament is now set. Hampton Lacrosse does not renew Chaz Woodson's contract. PLL draft and more. But make sure to give us 5 stars on Spotify and to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. It helps us more than you can believe. But without further ado, let's get into it.
Go, big plays. Tied up, splits the double with 8. She's going to get a shot off. He's got it! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Yes, sir. We are back in the building. We got the 3 amigos. Don't have Diggs today, but we got Brian, Shane, and yours truly, Scotty. Guys, how we doing today?
Great, man. Feeling good after this draft. I'll tell you what.
Boy,
I'm feeling real good.
The Woods got real athletic.
Oh, quickly.
Woods got athletic as hell after that draft. We'll talk about the draft later. I'm hyped. That's why I'm wearing the Redwoods hat right now. Okay. I see some people in the comments already getting us going. I love it. Y'all loyal. Y'all super loyal.
100%. 100%.
Okay.
Got some real ones.
Absolutely.
Appreciate y'all.
PLL draft just happened, though. Was a great show. We're going to get to that later in the show. So you guys, if you guys are listening to the Spotify version and you don't want to listen to some college lacrosse talk, go ahead, skip over to it. All right? I ain't telling you what to do, but do what you need to do. But first, we got to start talking about the games of the week, right? The conference championship games. Now, Patriot League champions, Colgate. Now, Colgate made a run in last weekend's Patriot League tournament. They beat number 4 Army, completely ruined Army's chances of being in the tournament. And they beat number 15 Boston. You know, this is funny. Brian and I talked about this on Sunday. But remember when for a second people were like, yo, Colgate's not that good after Syracuse beat them?
And see, when I said I'm Homer, we told y'all. Every single one of us on the pod said Colgate is good. They beat
Yeah, they were
Army
saying the
and then
same.
they busted Boston's ass. It's like that one wasn't close.
They were saying the same thing about Richmond, bro. They were saying the same thing about Richmond when Richmond beat Virginia. They were like, "Oh, I can't believe Virginia lost to Richmond." I was like, "Are we talking about the same Richmond team? Or did you? Or you just have this blanket idea of what good college lacrosse teams look like, and Richmond's not on that team for some reason, or not on that list for some reason? Stop playing.
Yeah,
Come on, bro.
They're not hip yet. They're not hip yet. The same teams that were good in 04, they still think the same teams are good.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, Colgate is good. They deserved it. They played well because I don't want it to turn into everybody's talking about Army didn't make it. Yeah, Army didn't make it because Colgate was better. Colgate was the best team in the Patriot League when it mattered the most. They beat each other up the whole season, and then when it's go time and the playoffs and the conference tournament, Colgate buckled down and did what they did. The Connor brothers, man. Remember saying we were talking about? I'm like, y'all don't look like Patriot League. Y'all look like some ACC, Big Ten, Ivy League attackmen. Those some big dudes. They put the team on their back. When Liam Connor shoots 4 for 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
67%. Yeah, Colgate's gonna have a good day.
Yeah. Hey, and if you guys watched that game, Colgate's goalie was locked in.
And you said that in the chat.
Locked in. I'm talking about he was taking shots. I mean, Army was peppering. Army was getting their shots off, no question. But he was taking shots, made it look like he was just passing to the boy. I was like, you're seeing the game. The game is slow for you right now. You're seeing it. You're ready to win this game. Hey, shouts out to y'all, man. Shouts out to y'all. Shouts out to Colgate, man. You did your thing.
So I'm looking at Army's schedule. Their best win was against UNC, and they won that game 13-12.
Rattle off their other teams they played, Scotty, in the first 5 or 6 games, or 6 or 7 games. Rattle off those teams, and then that tells you why.
UMass, Rutgers, Yale, Mercer, Lafayette.
And then they put Holy Cross after that.
Holy Cross after that.
No shade to any of those teams. They straight to schedule. The RPI matters. It was Rutgers and Yale were like those are going to be and UNC were going to be their 3 out of conference. Like those are our replacement because we couldn't schedule. It didn't work out with Syracuse in the schedule.
Yeah.
Rutgers struggled. Yeah, I mean Rutgers didn't struggle, but straight to schedule. So Rutgers didn't help them as much as they would have thought, and Yale wasn't good.
Yep.
Win the Patriot League, bro.
Yale at that point in time were number 16 in the country. That's a lie. Okay.
Cool.
Goose just says, to be real, they just got messed up by Yale and Rutgers being down. Yeah. Like, I don't know how RPI and stuff works, but I'm looking at the teams that they beat this year. It's not saying a lot. Even though we're looking at the overall record, 12-2, we're looking at some of these teams they beat, and UNC at the time was number 5. But would we ever in our right mind say UNC is close to that number 5 today?
No.
And that's your win your conference. And I like Army. Like Jackson Iker is a baller. Plunkett's a baller. AJ Pilot is a baller.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have that's if that's your schedule, you have to win your conference tournament.
Yeah.
That's
plain and simple.
That's it. And Brian, you're back home, upstate New York. You went 5-0 this weekend in the Pick'ems, and your team also won the ACC championship.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, this might be the best weekend of your life, dog.
So I don't know when we were gonna record on Sunday, Shane missed his part. So, like the line, it was all good just a week ago when Kanye said it. Last week, this is why fans gotta calm down. As a Syracuse lacrosse fan, talk to my fellow Syracuse lacrosse fans. Y'all are annoying. And it's like it's a week ago by Monday, after having lost 3 games in a row. Fire Gary Gate is terrible. Pat Marsh is terrible. John O'Dinner is terrible. This team is so undisciplined. Blah, 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 blah. Yapping. It's lacrosse. Calm down. They still have the ACC tournament. All of a sudden, they buckle down. They beat Notre Dame. They put belt to ass in Notre Dame. Syracuse is just straight up a better team than Notre Dame this year. Duke, we can win close games. I had said this before. They look locked in now. The little things they're doing. I said the guy that I was looking at, Billy Dwan III, one of the best defensemen in the country, has had a rough stretch of the season, the last few games. He talked to somebody. He had a come to Jesus moment. He's dialed in. The plays when he's goal scoring, cool, but when he's backing up shots, those slides are coming in a timely fashion. They're all backing up shots, ground balls, all these things they're doing. It matters now.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time it needs to be like. So now nobody's talking about, they lost. Oh, yeah, you lost those games. And we had said it before. Maryland's run, I think, Shane, was UVA in a 3 or 4 game losing streak going into the tournament last year and went to the Final Four. It doesn't matter what you did in February, March, or April. Now it's May. Syracuse is peaking when they need to peak. They're playing hard.
100.
The little stuff, the little things that you do, you can ride like Maryland did. John Mullen is one of the top 2 or 3 faceoff guys in the country. Caleb Fayette, Jimmy McCool. McNaden's coming off of a bad game. I'm putting him right up there too, where all the little things that they needed to do, those 2 pieces, you're facing off well. You got great goalie play. If you're a Syracuse fan, calm your ass down. We good.
Calm your ass down.
Clearly.
Now
that's the lax.calm down.
Y'all need to lax.calm down about Syracuse.
Yeah,
100%. You would have thought like we lost like 10 games in a row. Like, chill. It's lacrosse, man. They didn't lose any bad teams.
Yeah. Yep. It's funny how much you talk about Syracuse to us, Brian, where I knew this whole roster just as much as I know my Rutgers roster. Right. I'm watching these dudes though. Riley Figueres.
Dog.
Bro.
Dog. He was everywhere on the field.
He had Chris
picking off passes. Boy.
Y'all know I do not care about defense. You know this. This. When I notice somebody play defense, that dude has to be so legit and sticking out making himself stick out from everybody else. And Riley Figueres is that guy.
Because he's similar. Isn't that Sean Light, Bobby Van Buren, even Brendan Lavelle, Schaller? I feel like does a little because he carries the ball a lot for Maryland, but he's one of those dudes where it's like 2 ground balls. This plays lockdown defense. You don't hear his name at all. He's a dog, man. Like, and we talked about this before with Chris Kavanaugh. You could tell by the end of the game when Chris Kavanaugh's doing cross checks, trying to fight you at the end of the game. I got you. I got in your head. You were
I'm in your
stressed.
head. Yep.
I did exactly what I needed to do. And I'm watching it. I'm
Mhm.
like, Riley Figueroa, don't talk to him. You did exactly what you needed to do. You had that boy stressed.
Mhm.
Taylor was stressed. When Taylor had that dumb penalty
Right.
that Corrigan took him out for like 3, 4, 5 minutes, y'all are stressed because things that
Yeah.
don't usually happen, y'all are happening to you. Defense, you did exactly what you needed to do.
That was a dumbass move by Matt Taylor. Dumb as hell. But you know who's not dumb? These Ivy League champions, Cornell.
Nerds.
Nerds.
They beat Princeton in the championship game 20-15. This was
What
an
a
interesting
game.
game. This was an interesting
What?
game. Offensive show. Like, that's the only way I can describe it. Offensive show. Now, I was watching this game. I was like, oh, Princeton's running a little bit. And the next thing I know, Princeton's back, or Cornell's back in it. And then there's a 5-goal lead with Princeton. All right.
It was so
oh.
close. It was so close at one
It was
point.
close as hell.
was
Like, the
close.
score doesn't tell you.
Googs, you cursed them boys, man. You did the DJ from OTB thing. You cursed them boys. Can we talk about Princeton or whatever? All of a sudden, Maryland said, okay. I mean, not Maryland. Cornell said, okay.
Yeah. Them
meant to
boys
say-
was like,
He
hey,
dropped the 20
Hey.
feet.
they not only they dropped a 20-piece, they went on a damn near 12-0 run. They said, hey, they went into a timeout and said, oh, I'm tripping. All right, yeah, let's
You know how demoralizing
let-
that is?
you get to a point in the game, you're like, yo,
We might
we
have
really
this.
could do this. We really could do this. And then they shut up, go ahead and take a seat. Hey, you ever see that clip of Iman Shumpert talking about Kobe Bryant? And he's like, Iman Shumpert had like 30 or something in the third quarter, and Kobe Bryant comes up to him in the fourth quarter. He says, hey, you had a great game. And then goes off
And locked him
ends
down.
up winning the game. And Iman Shumpert's like, what are you on, bro? It was like that. It was like that. They went after them. They were like, you know what? We're a better team. We were playing like trash, but we're going to
Time to
beat you.
pick up.
And it's okay.
When we see Cornell do that against several teams, like when they did it with Richmond, when they kick it into gear, they kick it into gear, and they did it against Princeton. Damn, dog. I
It's
really
demoralizing, bro. Because I promise you, because Shane, I like to use that one because the one I was thinking about was Jeff Teague talking about he never beat LeBron in the playoffs, and with the Pacers were up by 30 at halftime, and he said he heard LeBron like, "Oh, we good, we got him right where we got him." He said they cut the lead to 8, and then he's like, "Yeah, we about to lose." That's what CJ, and I imagine that being CJ Curse, where like we good, and it's like CJ Curse only has 2 goals. Colin Mosan is playing well. I'm like, yeah, he is, but this CJ Curse, we're gonna see what they do in the third and fourth quarter. CJ Curse, like, oh, we got it right where we want him.
We talking about, well, in my opinion, if I was Princeton, I never would have felt comfortable the entire time.
You
We
can't.
talking about a dude who played 13 games and had 70 goals. 13 games, 70 goals. What are we talking about? You are not
Goldstein
safe.
and Long too, and you got Goldstein and Long. Like their whole attack line is gonna be in the PLL.
Hey, I
No
said
sleep.
this on Saturday. I said this on Sunday when we first did this. Ryan Goldstein, do me a favor, bro. Go to that equipment managing room, okay, and talk to them boys about getting you a size jersey that fits. You are swimming in that thing. You are swimming in that thing. The thing that jersey is damn near to your knees, brother. It's damn near to your knees.
Fat man.
They
size,
might
that's what
do
they
a
get.
whole uniform check on you just from the jersey alone because they don't know you got shorts on, brother. You need to get something. You need to get something that fits you, man, because you look smaller than like you already like 5'7". That's cool. That's fine. But you look 5'7" on a field and on camera. That's not fine. You gotta you balling. You balling. You do look like a middle schooler, though. I can't lie to you. You do look like a middle. You would get me buckets, but you do look like a middle schooler, though. I can't lie.
Why
I
are
can't lie
all
to you.
their whole team? Why are all their jerseys like
Yeah,
two or
I was
three
about to
X?
say CJ Kurt's jersey still looks a little big, but yeah,
Nobody wears a large.
if you get buckets, it don't matter. It's gonna look good. Yeah. There was a time I got fooled into thinking retrospect looked hard. So yeah, you ball, you ball. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that sounds like your parents saying you're not fat, you're husky.
You big bone. You big bone.
Mama, you lied to me.
Exactly. But yeah, Cornell wins that game. That was a great game to watch. The NEC champs were Robert Morris. They beat Detroit Mercy 17-8. The CAA champs were Towson. They beat Drexel 13-10.
Wagon.
Wagon.
Because remember, they were like 1-6.
Started off really slow. And now they're on a run. The A10 champs were Richmond. They beat High Point. Okay, 16-10. The MAC champs, kind of a little bit of an upset here. Siena beat Sacred Heart 12-8. All right.
That's not Siena, man. That's a great win for you guys. That's a great program win for y'all.
Yep.
Shouts out to y'all, boys.
And the
And
kid
thank
had
you
a
for
pretty,
being excited. Thank you for being excited. Because that
yeah.
selection show was corny. Thank you, CNN, for actually showing you were excited to play.
And the kid who, I think it was this game where the kid wasn't super hype about winning that championship game.
Drop that F-bomb.
Dropped the F-bomb.
Oh, yeah.
That was an F-bomb well deserved.
Yeah.
You
For
go
sure.
ahead. And the American East champions, University of Albany. Albany beat Bryant 12-7. The Big East champs was Georgetown. Georgetown beats Villanova 16-8.
Handily.
And the Big Ten champs, Ohio State. Ohio State beat Maryland 14-10. Ohio State. Speaking of lagging, another lagging, yo.
Hey, dudes, I'm gonna tell you something, man. That boys at Ohio State put Maryland on the knee and said, "Here, you gonna take this ass whooping, boy. You gonna take this," and it's for the whole game. Yeah, boy, Ohio State had them boys. They did not. Hey, I know you big on Logan McNaney, bro. Let me tell you something. You probably could have put an elevate goalie in that. But I
Damn.
probably just put an elevate goalie.
Yo, Shane love
I'm not
going
gonna
in
lie
on
to you.
goalies, bro. You love going
The
in on
rest was a
goalies,
tight,
bro.
close game. Did we watch the same game, dudes? Did we watch the same game? They got smacked around like a rag doll. Just because the score was 14-10 don't mean it was a 14-10 game. It was not a 14-10 game. Them boys got tossed around.
Yo,
We
need to start getting paid for whenever we mention Elevate. For real, bro.
For real. But I mean, McNaney, like I know, well, fandom aside, McNaney played like trash. Almost every single time Ohio State stepped up to shoot, in my head, I was like, they're going to score. Because he was playing like trash. Swiss cheese. I picked them for the first time this season. The first time this season.
You said that in
And
the
what
chat.
happened?
You was tight.
I was tight. First time this season. Logan McNaney, what'd he do? Straight defecated the bed, brother. Defecation. You're killing me. You're killing me with that, bro. But you know what? It's fine because Ohio State was the better team in that game. They were the better team, and that's okay. They were the much better team. And the reason why they're a much better team is because they were locked in defensively. I was saying this, and something I noticed, I was telling they actually tweeted this out, but I was telling the boys this. I was like, every single time the 2 or 3 slide had to happen off of a dodge, Ohio State's defense was in such a good position that it forced Maryland to have to hitch before they made a decision. They were ready to shoot, like in a great shooting spot, but Ohio State's position was so good that they were like, I can't get this shot off. I can't get around him. I can't shoot through him. I can't shoot before him. I have to hitch in this moment because it's not there. And it was happening consistently. And that's a massive credit to Ohio State. Not necessarily a dig on Maryland because they kept possession alive for a lot of that game, but man, it was just not they were just handling business, man. Handling business.
It's
But
crazy
wow,
how
Rupel should have gone in for sure.
RuPaul is a problem too, man. Remember that crazy series he had last year, making
Oh
those
yeah.
3 saves on the doorstep.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
RuPaul is good, man.
Man, we talking about Maryland too much. Ohio State's defense is incredible. Bobby
Mhm.
Van
Yes.
Buren, Cullen Brown, Foster, Blake Island, Ari Allen. They have this. They're straight pros, bro. Like that. Because I remember I tweeted it out. I was like, Maryland and Ohio State are same team with the Spider Man just pointing to each other because they're both teams where it's like, all right, let's get under 10. All we gotta do is score more than 10 goals. And if with the elite defense that they have, studs that can shut you down at their offense, and it's not just them hoping that Marinier goes hot, goes crazy, and has like 4 or 5 goals when they have like a pretty even killed um offensive production like that. That's a scary. They're like Cornell level scary.
Yeah.
Because they were
That's gonna
because the
be a
thing
game.
before was maybe like if you can score like if you can get past 10 on on Ohio State, you're good. But I'm like, yeah, they dropping 14. Like, yeah, like Garrett Haas is a baller, man. I was because I watched him play all season, but it's just like that confidence he has isn't the same at this point in May that it was at the beginning of the season. So I'm like, yeah, Ohio State's scary.
Yeah.
Ohio State is
And
good.
last thing, Gugs, you telling me it was a close game. Let's just go through this quarter by quarter. Okay. First quarter, 6-1. Second quarter, 9-5. Third quarter, 13-8. That's not a close game at any point. That's not a close game. I watched the game, bro. I watched the game. I know Maryland close to you, bro. They were getting spanked. It's okay. It's okay. McNaney's allowed to have a bad game. Defense, Ohio State's allowed to play better. I said outside the first. Boy, it's every quarter. They were losing. What you mean? What you mean? But anyway, it's okay. It's all right. I still have, by the way, I still have Maryland in my Final Four. Just so you know, I got Maryland, but I also got Ohio State in that thing too. So you better hope to God Ohio
That
State plays
man,
somebody first. You
that
better hope to
defense is
God Ohio State plays somebody first. Oh,
All right.
man.
But with that being over, okay, all the championships, okay, I don't think I named in the A-Sun Air Force won that.
yeah. Shout out Air Force, man.
Love to see it, Air Force do their thing. But so the tournament is set. So the teams who got the at-large selections were, of course, Maryland, Princeton, Syracuse, Penn State, Duke, UNC, Harvard, and Notre Dame. The committee was like, no, we can't just not have Notre Dame after winning it 2 times in a row. Okay, but the main conversation after this bracket was made was no Army, but we grazed upon that a little bit. Okay, I think the funnier part though is Ohio State being matched up against Notre Dame.
Yeah,
I kind of like it. I kind of like
I
it.
do too, and I don't think it matters because Ohio State's about to win. So I mean, I know people are like, they're playing Notre Dame. It don't matter, bro.
I think kill the king early, bro. If you kill you knock off Notre Dame, cool. I kind of like it. I feel like Ohio State's not ducking smoke. They
At
ready for it. They're
all.
like they not ducking smoke at all. They're like, okay,
You think
yeah,
Bobby
sure.
Van Buren's afraid of Chris Kavanaugh?
Come on, bro.
No, no, no.
You
No,
think Cullen Brown about to lose sleep over Jake Taylor? No, that's
come
not, and that's
on.
not nothing negative on them. I'm just saying
No.
what Ohio State's like. We're him too, especially coming off of what they just did to Maryland. Why I'm
Hey,
not. Why would they be scared?
Yeah.
I'll tell you
I don't
what.
care.
I'll
You
tell
won
you what.
too.
2 of those boys got drafted in the second round, but Bobby Van Buren would have gotten drafted in the first if he was available this year.
Cullen Brown gonna be a first round for they
All right. It's not, and it's like Brian said, it's not a negative, but it
yeah.
is the reality. It is the reality. You got to play Bobby Van Buren. You got to play Cullen Brown. You are going to get put on an island. I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to you.
Yeah, Notre Dame's good. Ohio State's not. Everybody's like, oh, Ohio State's not scared, man. I can promise you that. They're like, we go. Okay, let's go. Roll the
Yeah,
ball
let's
out.
handle. Yeah.
No, but Ohio State had a tough way to get to championship weekend, but nothing they're not used to.
Yep.
No.
Nothing they're not used to. I'm just.
But it is kind of funny for Jordan Faison, though. If he loses
Yes.
this game,
Yes.
that's hilarious. He lost Ohio State.
Verbal meme. Verbal meme, the Arthur meme.
Yeah, dude. It would be
like
he would
Ohio
be sick
State
to his stomach.
He like Ohio State again.
Yeah.
This man's gonna throw away everything red in his closet.
Yeah, he ain't red. He not wearing silver ever again.
Yeah. I'll show you guys what the bracket's looking like real quick. And if you guys are watching online, okay, we've got a lot of good games coming up this weekend. Speaking of good games, you guys want to know something? Rutgers playing against Navy this weekend in club lacrosse. If you guys are in Maryland during that game for that weekend, let me know, okay? Because I'll let you guys know. But the way it's suiting up is Cornell is playing the winner of the University of Albany and Siena game. UNC's playing Richmond. Penn State's playing Colgate. Ohio State's playing Notre Dame. Princeton's playing Towson. Syracuse is playing Harvard. Duke is playing Georgetown. And Maryland is winning the champion of Air Force RMU. All right, so make sure you stay tuned. The Albany-Siena game is tomorrow, and so is the Air Force RMU or Robert Morris game. All right?
Oh, I didn't know that, so thank you for saying that.
Gotcha. I know I had to make sure I looked because I wouldn't have looked at any lacrosse until Saturday or Friday or whatever.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Friday. Okay, it makes sense, though.
All right, so Googs brought up a hot mic video. God only knows what's going to be on this video, but apparently people were apologizing for the top mic, but we're going to take a look at it, okay? We're going to take a look.
For the viewers back home, a lot of people saying this doesn't go anywhere. For those lucky enough to listen, let's go Saints. Sacred Heart has diarrhea.
And now we'll get our penalty. So Sacred Heart to the man up, trailing by 2 at the beginning of this fourth quarter.
Yo, he just goes, Sacred Heart has diarrhea.
Yeah. There's something that got said before that, though, that was crazy.
Wait, am I bugging? I gotta watch this again. What did he say?
I can't repeat it, but
I'm gonna play it again.
For the viewers back home, a lot of people saying this doesn't go anywhere. For those lucky enough to listen, let's go Saints.
I couldn't hear it.
You hear him? He said, way to eat that.
Oh my God, dude. Yo.
Oh no, bro. That's crazy. I mean, you should know better than to have like an audience mic.
Wait, he said eat that
game.
what?
Type it in the chat, Shane.
Okay. Okay.
You know, the funniest thing about lacrosse is that the crowd isn't packed yet. We're not at that point of our sport, right? But
Oh, I thought he said sugar honey iced tea. Oh, that's what I heard it. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so childish.
but
Yeah.
you can hear everybody so clearly during a lacrosse game.
You got to
Like-
know better than that.
No, you got to hear like D3 streams. That's usually that's what
Hey.
picks up on the mics all the time.
Oh, it's horrible, bro. When I was in college, I mean, to be fair, I was also one of these people whenever my school was playing other schools. But when I was in college, the things I would hear from the sideline at these games will stay with me for life. For life. You understand? None of it, and none of it was like racist or crazy. Some of it was racist, but it wasn't like that overly like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. It was more like almost like so jarring that you're more impressed with the creativity than you are with like with what was said. It was like, how did you come up with that? Who taught you that? Where did that come from? You should know better than to give the mic. You put a mic in the stands. You should know better than that. Not good.
I used to get chirped up all the time, man. I remember one time in college, it's cold as hell in New Jersey during the quote unquote spring sport. So I used to wear black leggings under my white uniform. And then next thing you know, somebody from the sideline was like, 17, you forgot your other leggings? And I don't know why. That shit pissed me off so bad.
That's racist.
I'm like, I'm like, damn, bro, I don't even got no white leggings. Like, this dude, we just talking about my style. I think I look good, and this dude making me flinch on the way I look. I didn't feel good about that, and I was mad as hell the rest of the game. It's all right. Whatever. You live and you learn. And I was playing a club game when I was 25 or 25. And a kid goes, that dude has a mortgage. That dude has a mortgage, bro. I'm like, oh, I know a 17-year-old did not just say that to me.
That just makes me think of how much chirps does the BYU team get? Like that they'd be like, everybody at BYU team is 32.
Yep. That's absolutely. But that's what makes the sport so great.
Yeah, no disrespect to BYU. No disrespect. But.
So going back to the tournament, do you think the tournament should have more teams? That was a conversation going around too after this. But I feel like we do this every year. But what do you guys think? Do you think the tournament should have more teams?
I don't see why it would. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. I would love to, I mean, could you imagine, like, as a result, we don't have any Cinderella stories. We don't really have any Cinderella stories. Like, if you look at the bracket, like, none of these teams, I mean, other than, okay, I'll take that back. If Robert Morris gets to championship weekend, I think that would be fantastic. It would be, it's highly unlikely, but it would be fantastic. Why not have a couple more of those opportunities for some of these teams that maybe, could you imagine Loyola? Could you imagine Loyola getting the opportunity to play into a game and just winning out for the rest of the season?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like, all right, there's some room. Maybe Air Force can do something.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I would love to see, more teams get the opportunity to do something crazy and, like, prove it.
I'm okay with how the tournament is right now, to be honest, bro. Listen, you're going to give, if it becomes more teams, there's going to be a time and point where it's going to go, yo, we need more teams, even after we added more teams, or there's going to be a time where we add more teams and people are going to be like, no, we need to get rid of too many teams. It's become too diluted, right? I'm fine with the way it is right now. I ain't mad about it. And if the conversation of Army is their strongest argument for why there should be more teams in this, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I see that. I would also I'm also on the side where it would be really cool to do the relegation and promotion for Division I, Division II.
I've said this before, Shane.
Okay.
All right. I just don't want you to take credit for what I've been saying, dog. I think about this all the time. This all the time, bro.
Hey, everybody, Scott wants his credit, so we're going to give him his credit. All right, Scotty, you had a great idea. Yeah, that's your name. Scott wants his credit. I'm going to give you the credit, Scott. You're welcome. You're doing so good, sweetie. You're just fantastic and so smart.
Yeah,
you're hilarious. I would say add 4 more. You could add 4 more teams, so then they could set it up that the first you have 4 playing games to play the top 4 seeds. Because then hypothetically, let's say if there's 4 more teams, like this year it would be Army. I don't look at the RPA like Army, Rutgers. Let's say
Virginia.
Virginia was 500. Yeah, because not for the conference. Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah.
And just whatever 4th team plays in, because hypothetically, like Rutgers could win a game. Like Virginia wasn't terrible. Like Virginia could have won a game again when you're not playing in your conference. And like it's not for nothing, it's more money. It's like they have like how many playing games did they have for the NCAA tournament? When it'd be like McNeese State versus Wyoming College of Christian Men. Like
McNeese State.
Damn, dog. I can't run anymore because I got a bad McNeese.
McNeese. I know. But the funny thing is, I know
is that a real
exactly
what.
What
I make that up?
No, you made that up.
Okay.
It's McNeese.
Okay.
They were the school with the DJ or with the manager with the crazy
was that
with
school?
the dope manager.
Is that what I came with?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why that's a cool kid. Yeah.
That was pretty funny, though.
That's funny as
They were just as popular like his dude, like because of that dude got a whole NIL deal off of that.
He was the most popular person on that whole team, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if you add
And
it
then,
to
I
the
actually
jerseys.
don't even know who won. I actually don't even know who won the championship.
yeah. So it's
No,
like the Houston one, right?
Who? No, I know that. I know they didn't win.
Oh, I don't know.
no,
But I
I
no.
didn't. I watched the winning
see
segment. I didn't watch the
exactly,
next segment. Yeah.
exactly. You guys don't know who won that.
I be trying
After
to
St.
keep up with
John's,
that. I be trying to keep up with lacrosse too much, bro.
yeah, exactly. After St. John's lost, I turned off the TV for NCAA
Yeah.
tournament,
After
and
St.
St. John's
John's
whole
ruined my
season.
bracket, I said forget
St.
it.
It's okay because the entire team left and went to the portal. So like that's basketball. Now I don't know nobody on St. John's team anymore.
It's okay. It's all right. But that's the tournament. That's how the tournament got suited up. And probably all these tournament teams got their equipment from one place. And that place is Lax.com. Okay. So whether you're gearing up for the season, need fresh gloves, or just want to flex on your teammates with the latest gear, Lax.com has you covered. They've got everything from heads and shafts to apparel and training essentials. And here's the best part. They've got pros on deck to string your stick exactly how you like it. So no more excuses when you miss that corner shot. And oh, did I mention fast shipping? You'll have your gear in hand before your next practice. So do yourself a favor. Head over to Lax.com. Now, my stick was strung by Lax.com. And bro, I was doing some shooting drills today with my club team. My club team was like, ooh, coach, hold up. Can you suit up this weekend? I told them no because I know I can't run up and down the field anymore. But
Mark.
I play attack. I'm top of the room.
yeah, but don't let my hands get free. Don't let my hands get free.
It's true. That's true. The boy, he can shoot. He can shoot.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
true.
you. Now, the PLL draft just happened. Interesting. Because, Kavanaugh was at the number 2 spot in the mock draft
Which never made
Mhm.
sense.
and dropped down. I think Kavanaugh is such a great player, and I'm super happy he got picked up on the Redwoods. But it just shows you a little bit how some players are just marketed a lot more, and then it skews the way some people are looking at these players when they have to do these mock drafts or how these talent, when they gauge their talent, because these are the people who's always put in front of your face. So you're thinking this guy's going to be a top pick. What do you guys think about this draft?
I thought, I mean, was it a little surprising to see him get drafted in the second round? Yes. Did it make sense that he got drafted in the second round based off all the people who got picked before him? Yes. I thought like all the picks were solid. I mean, at the end of the day, none of these teams are making or drafting players based off of who's popular. They're drafting
Mhm.
players based off of what the team needs and what that player could provide for their needs. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was actually really well. I thought all of the picks made total sense. Like when you really look at each team and go, okay, they need this, they need this. I think they might need this. A lot of players, some of these players are getting much older. I mean, and reality is each of these teams only has 21 roster spots, 19 roster spots.
Mhm.
So ultimately, like they have to get exactly what they need. They can't afford to just get somebody that, has a name like Kavanaugh. By the way, Chris Kavanaugh hasn't had that impactful of a season. He's been great. I mean, he's fine. He hasn't had that. I mean, it hasn't been so impactful to a point where I was like, oh, yeah, like no matter what, he should get drafted first round, no matter what. He's great. He's a great lacrosse player, and he should get drafted. If he went undrafted, I'd be like, what are we doing? Or even fourth round, third round, I'd be like, what are we doing? Second round? Yeah, that sounds right.
Mhm.
That sounds right.
Yo, it's always interesting to see the draft, and I thought there were some interesting picks. I think the story of Dylan Hess is an interesting one. When we were doing our draft show today earlier, I asked Shane if Dylan Hess playing club lacrosse and playing attack or midfield, whatever offense, was an advantage or disadvantage. Do you look at that as raising his stock or lowering his stock? And Shane said raising his stock. I'm not sure. Some of me is like, yeah, like that's good for his stock because it shows that he can play both sides. But in the PLL, I feel like you kind of have to be good at exceptional at one thing.
Yeah.
And I hope the man's not rusty because he's not an offensive mid in the PLL by any means. But going from club lacrosse to the PLL, massive jump, and taking that 1 year gap, it does make a difference. I know he's playing, but it's different.
Certainly,
Different.
but it's different than college too.
Mm-hmm.
Like we don't really ever see a guy get drafted and make a dramatic impact in the game their rookie year. Like, I mean, some of them are obviously. I'm not saying that you can't get production in general. I'm just saying, like, if you perfect example, Peyton Cormier led the NCAA in goals. What did he do last year? Nothing. He may have had 1 or 2 games where he had like 2 to 3 goals. Okay. What did he do? Let's look at Brennan O'Neill. What did he do last year?
Listen, man.
I
think I'm gonna make a video of you and Peyton Cormier meeting. I gotta put you guys in a room and you play defense against him or something, bro. Because
he's never coming on the pod because of Shane.
Yeah, for real. But somebody is coming on the pod, and that is DJ from OTB. What up, DJ? How we doing?
What up? How we feeling?
What's good, my boy?
We're feeling good.
Let's go. I know you've been waiting to get.
I just now realized I'm on this 3 Woods fans now.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
We own that.
You've entered the Woods part of the stick.
That's right.
Yo, boy, got real athletic.
Yeah,
DJ,
we did.
Good to see you, my man. What did you think about the draft for the Redwoods, my man?
So like first initial thoughts, I was a little like, I would have liked to see a D mid or a goalie instead of Cav at 10. So let me just preface this. I'm not a big, I love the Cavs, but I'm not a big separate Cavs with the younger guys. Like Pat and Chris are phenomenal together, but separately, they're not quite the same. Mm-hmm. So I was all for having Chris if we had Pat. I would have liked to see Sam. I would like to see Sam King instead of Chris Cav. I think he would have fit into this offense well. But I mean, I think it's going to work out as well too. There's a lot of different options they can run with at the attack now. Love the midfield options with Rice, McAdory, and English. And then, I mean, Shuts. We'll see what happens there.
You see Shane's face?
Bro.
Dude, I'm not a big fan of the Redwoods continuously drafting these big, strong
potential guys. It's all based on potential.
I want to see them. Like, I would love to have go and get another poll as well. Like, either a goalie or a poll with one of those picks as well. I think we don't know what's happening with Holden Garland and if he's retiring or what. And then 2, just poll depth. I think there's only like 5 polls on the roster in general. Like, you're going to need depth there. But then again, you can go get a poll or a goalie in the player pool. So it's like, I see why they went with the decisions they went with. It's just like, I personally wouldn't, because I don't think Chase is the guy moving forward in between the pipes, just from what we've seen from him so far. And then I don't want Timmy T coming back because I think his 5-hole is atrocious. But like, other than that, I think you can go get any goalie out there and make it work.
You're missing another goalie though.
Who, Matt Note? I mean, I would
an elevate goalie.
I called him I think an elevate goalie would have been better than him last year.
Damn,
you're missing a goalie.
Stand him, bro.
You're missing somebody. Hey,
yo, who do you dislike more at this point, Jack Kelly or Peyton Cormier?
Honestly, I gotta be 100 with you, bro.
Hey, you can't tell me Kelly's that bad. Kelly was at like 54.6% or whatever last year, and if they face 8 to 10 less shots than what they did last year, the Redwoods win a handful more.
Hold on. Hold on. Did you just say if they face 8 to 10 less shots?
The offense got to hold on to the ball and score. Yeah. What you mean? You can't tell.
So folks need to just pull off in order for Jack Kelly to be great. We need folks to do the opposite of what they were told to do in order for Jack Kelly to be great. We got to get people to play a completely different version of lacrosse in order for Jack Kelly to be great. Is that what you just said to me out loud? Is this what you said to me out loud on camera? You said that out loud for real?
What I'm saying is if the offense is better, the defense takes less shots, which in turn makes them a better team. The defense was already good. That was probably the best part of the team last year. So if you have them playing less defense, the team might be half decent. I'm not saying for sure, but
y'all will be better because I know DJ said he wanted you guys earlier to get a D mid, but man, Carter Rice is good enough where he could take Ida's spot. And Nakai, you're playing offense only, buddy. Like, I feel like
he playing what?
Nah, I think Nakai, what he don't have to play, man. I think they're putting him two ways, but you don't got to be a D mid anymore because Carter Rice.
Yeah,
that's where he was best last year.
Yeah, I do.
I don't want Nakai playing no offense.
Oh, okay.
Bro, Nakai scored 2 goals in the last year and a half. If you don't put somebody else in
both ways, he's playing both ways.
Why do you think they started having him play both ways? Because he wasn't producing on the offensive end.
No, because they don't have a choice. Look
they
at that
did.
roster.
They could have played. We could have played Tevlin a lot more than we did. We could have played Tev so much more than we did.
Tevlin got some burn last year. He got plenty of burn last year.
But we could have played him more.
Your D-mids are going to be so good this year. Oh my God.
We are. We're going to be gross at D-mids.
Tevlin and Carter Rice is going to be nasty.
Look at this midfield line. Think about this midfield line. You got Nakai, you got Sammy English, and you got Andrew McAdory on that attack line. On that midfield line. You telling me
I hate that because that means we're putting Schutz, Kirst and Bertrand together. That's too big. We got to mix that up.
Romar too, though. Romar.
I mean,
yeah, Romar's still there. Like,
damn, man, y'all are so
However,
feels so freaking athletic now, bro. Crazy.
If I'm thinking about the way that players are normally, like the systems that players normally play, is like if you get somebody like Nakai Montgomery go down the alley, he's just decoy. We don't even need to have him take the shot. Just a decoy. Come down the alley, roll back. Hit somebody like Sammy English. You telling me that already off of the strength of that motion right there, motion offense, we can't generate at least 5-6 goals a game off of that.
Well,
I'm
not saying that, but I would like Cole Kirst to do that instead, and then we can leave Nakai as a short stick D mid, and he can push transition. I like him as a transition option. He's a great D mid, and he's got speed, and he can still shoot. But I don't think he provides the same offensive explosion and talent and looks that we get from like Cole Kirst or Charlie Bertrand, like et cetera. Like those guys can't be moved to D mid. Maybe Kirst, but I ain't really liking that. You can do that with Nakai though.
Yeah, I mean, I think yes, you can do that with Nakai. He's versatile in that way. Yes. I think the reason why Nakai was in that position is because that's what his team needed in that game, in these games, in that season. I don't know that is where, if you asked him right now, I don't think he would say, yeah, like I'm interested in playing D mid. I think he took a back seat on the offensive side because he understood where his role was. He needed to get the ball to other guys. He was trying to, when we look at our attack line wasn't great last year at all.
You said wasn't it?
Wasn't.
You said wasn't? Yeah, I agree.
Wasn't great. Wasn't great. Yeah. No. If you just off the strength that Rob Pennell had more touches of the ball than everybody in the league and still was not the main producer, I'm like, okay, like I'm not the GM, I'm not the coach, but I'm looking at you. You give me the stats of touches, and you expect me to not create some inferences there. Like, what's the problem? So I think we would probably see if you forced or if you told Nakai, hey, you're going to be an offensive midfield this year, I think we would see a completely different version of him than we've seen in the last 2 years. 100%. He would go back to his Duke days.
Well, only time will tell with the Nakai Montgomery situation. When the season starts and we're ready to start talking shit about the Redwoods, DJ, I'll have you on. It'll just be us three talking shit, and I'll have Brian moderating the whole thing.
Yeah,
All right.
it'll be KB, Mikey, and I be in Switzerland while y'all just go off about the Woods.
Now, I'm just going to read off the first 2 rounds of the draft. The Water Dogs, of course, picked up CJ Curse. The Redwoods picked up Andrew McAdory and Sam English with those 2 and 3 picks. The Cannons picked up Coulter Mackesy. Archers picked up Brandon Lavelle. Atlas picked up Matt Trainer. Whipsnakes picked up Aiden Carroll. And the Chaos picked up Owen Hilt, who I think is going to be a problem in the PLL. Now, in the second round, the Water Dogs picked up Jake Taylor. Redwoods picked up Chris Cav. Outlaws picked up Logan McEnany. The Cannons picked up Mick Kelly. Chaos picked up Levi Virch. Atlas picked up Max Krevsky. Water Dogs picked up Dylan Hess. And the Chaos picked up Jack McDonald. Now, if you want to check out the third and fourth rounds, just go ahead to their website and take a look.
Did you just say McNanny?
Yeah, he said McNaney instead of McEnany. Yeah.
However you want me to say it.
I said, who is that?
Right. There's a third and fourth rounder. We got to say my boy Mike Grace from the Q's, Upstate Bulls, and that was a good look. And like I said, Carter Rice with the Woods. Like those were some good picks. And I like the Woods.
Listen,
drafts.
Sneaky best poll pick of the draft, in my opinion, might be Homer Pace Billings.
Yeah,
I think him sliding to the third, I don't think people understand how good he is in the middle of the field and the absolute ground ball vacuum he is. Like, he's going to make some team's rope unit insane over the next couple of years.
Yep.
Where was what's his name picked from the Archers last year? The kid from Marquette.
7. Yep.
Yeah, because that's when everybody was like
7 or 8. 7 or 8.
Jake Messino was going to be that pick. Yeah.
He
was late.
Yeah.
And I'm actually glad the Archers chose Lavelle. I think he fits into their system well. I'm just glad they didn't choose Matt Trainer. Not because he went to the Atlas, but because he didn't need to be on the Archers.
Yeah.
That is the last thing we wanted to see as a league.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Diggs called it. I said Diggs called it too because he had tweeted something out a couple of days ago. He said Brian and I are gonna be laughing when Matt Trainer falls to the Atlas in 6, and he fell to the Atlas in 6.
Diggs loves that Matt Trainer pick. I like that Matt Trainer pick also for the Atlas. That boy is nasty.
And it's still dope, just like you guys were saying earlier with Dylan Hess. Like, because I know he wanted to go to Florida to play football, which would have been super dope. But doing a club year, but still being that guy where they're still like, we still got faith in you. And did he get drafted technically higher this year than last year?
I don't know where he got drafted last year.
Yes, he went 13 picks higher this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
That's wild.
But I really think, like,
DJ Ball nowhere. He knew that off quick.
I was just telling KB not too long ago. I think that was more of he got lucky with there not being as many good short stick D mids in this draft. And then also part of that, him going late so much last year, was so many teams knowing he wasn't planning on coming right away.
Yeah.
So mix of those two things. I think he would have went far earlier last year if he was expected to play right away.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But Cole Kastner coming to the Woods, little slept on, but I'm excited for him to be coming back. I mean, 6'9" and an absolute eraser.
And he's in shape after playing.
After playing Stanford basketball, dude's in shape.
Yeah, he's ready. That's a different type of shape too, playing basketball like that.
Nice guy too.
Really nice guy. And that's what we care about the most. That's what we care about the most.
That's right. Yeah. Not like me though. I'm not a nice guy at all.
Me either.
Especially if you're a goalie playing bad. Shane on your ass.
I'm on your ass for life. For life. As I play defense, bro. So if you're a goalie and you're trash, I really got to look at you and be like, you're trash for real. It's hard for me to blame a goalie, but if you're trash,
Scotty,
I got to tell you.
You got 3 polls on the line now. Scotty, like, I don't care, yo.
Hey, polls where it's at, bro.
Facts.
100%.
Yo, okay. I know we got to transition. We're going to transition here. Okay. But Now it's time to get into Brian. DJ, you're more than welcome to stay here finish the show out with us. Okay. So Brian, you got to tell us, my man, who walked that dog? Wait, actually, I got something for you.
Okay.
Who walked the dog? Who walked the dog? Tell us, Brian. Who walked the dog? Who walked the dog? I've got to know. Who walked the dog? Who walked the dog?
Get out of here.
Clearly, I was not prepared. Yo, I'm weak. So who walked that dog? We talked about it. DJ, you got to plug up your ears, bro. The boys at Ohio State, Columbus, Ohio, walked that dog against Maryland. Man, listen. Cool. Man, listen. I told y'all, Foster, Cullen Brown, Bobby Van Buren, Blake Island, Ari Allen, Caleb Fayok, that entire unit walked that dog. They had Maryland in fits, bro. Like Shade and Goose just going at it in the chat. Like it was kind of it wasn't that close.
It was not close.
Like it's they frustrate you. They're on your ass from the beginning of the game to the end of the game. They tag up, you're dodging. You try to be cute and skip past. Cullen Brown's gonna pick it off. He's going the other way. They're gonna hit you. They're gonna talk to you, and then they're gonna run by you because Blake Allen and Ari Allen gonna be like, I'm like actually fast. Like Ari Allen played football at IMG. Again, he playing football with boys from Florida. He don't care, bro. Like, he playing with some real dogs out there. Their defense is just like you're gonna do exactly what we want you to do. You're gonna struggle. You're gonna take the shots we want you to take. Caleb Fayok gonna talk to you after clear. Like because I'm watching this game and I imagine because remember when K18 came on and he was talking about he was in the alley, took that shot, right? And Doc was like, he said clear before the ball left his stick. That's like watching watching Ohio State's defense. Like I'm just like everything that they did. Maryland, you're gonna do exactly what we wanted you to do. Ursa, we don't care. Spanos, we don't care. Ford, we don't care. We gonna tell you where to go. We're gonna walk you to the corner. We're gonna tell your ass to sit down. That's what Ohio State's defense did. Walk that dog. Shout out Ohio State. Man, them boys is good.
I think the difference about Ohio State is their offense. They don't have like a guy. It's just like it's a 6-man unit that like you just gotta play solid defense against, and if you don't, you're gonna get scored on.
Yep.
There isn't one star that's like far above everybody else. They just hit the hot hand, and if you ain't ready, you gonna get beat.
Yeah, but that's what Marinier is he won him once though.
And somebody better sign him. He's going to be a great midfield option for somebody.
Yeah, I was surprised he didn't. Yep. He didn't get drafted.
That's a dude that can play both sides.
Yeah,
man was ready to play D1 at both positions.
Came in as a pole, bro.
That's crazy.
Well, that's Mike, crazy. My thing is, why was he playing pole in the first place in college?
My whole thing is, I always talk about this, DJ. How do you look at a pole and then you go, he's got to play attack?
Well, because he's a box guy. He grew up playing all box in Canada, which is why I was confused why he was playing pole in the first place.
Yeah.
At best, he should have been a midfield.
That's what
But when they moved him to attack, instantly took over. And it's like, yeah.
To attack, that never happens. That you don't go from pole to attack. You go from a pole to maybe, okay, you're going to be a D-midi now. You don't go attack?
Nope.
So yeah,
people trying to push people. People always try to push people away from being attackmen. Never try to pull them towards them. That's like taking a corner and being like, yo, you're going to be a quarterback now. Like,
or telling them, no, you're going to play guard, buddy.
yeah.
No, that's really like asking a receiver to play corner.
Yeah.
Because they all think it's so easy. Then they get over there and be like, oh, I can't
do this.
It's
the same thing. Yeah.
It's the same thing. No, it ain't.
Oh, I got to do this backwards? I got to go backwards?
Yep.
No. Facts. You get burned every play.
Only few people could do that, play both sides of the ball. Travis Hunter and Scotty Royster. That's it.
You prime?
You
Jabril Peppers now? You Jabril Peppers?
Brian, get your boy. That's your friend, bro.
Scotty was playing center. You was just like me, Scotty. You was 11. You had to play with the 14-year-olds. No lie,
bro. I'm gonna put you on real quick to some crazy shit. Yo, they didn't let me play Pop Warner. Googs could probably relate to this. They didn't let me play Pop Warner when I was in 5th grade because I was over the weight limit.
Oh, see, we don't got a weight limit here. We have a weight limit for running the ball. So if you're like too big, you can't run the ball, but you can play. You can hit it. It makes no sense to me. You can't run a dude over with your shoulders, but you can damn sure knock him out.
So I can hit you, but I can't, bro. That's crazy. That don't even make sense.
It makes no sense, bro.
Yo, so
What
they
are we
had
doing?
me. They had me switch leagues, and then I was the punter for my team. So they made a rule when I was in like 8th grade: nobody over 160 can run the ball.
Yo, big ass forced admin law changes, bro.
Yo.
Somebody put
Your mom
something
was
right
like,
because of you.
Yeah, I was mad. I was like, yeah. And then sometimes my coach would be a smart ass and let me run a fake punt. Bro, they'd be like, he's breaking the rule. They made a rule. They made a Scotty rule, bro. That's crazy.
Yo,
That's crazy. They
That's
put
hilarious.
paperwork for your ass, bro. They put in paperwork. They changed the bylaws.
What's that movie? I'm 12. I'm only 12.
I'm only
Oh,
12.
bench warmers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I was
crazy.
living for those moments, bro. I was living for those moments.
Hey, that's how I'm finna show up at my next high school game. We got 14
Yeah.
dudes, and one of them got ejected today, so he can't even play on Friday.
Yeah.
That's tough.
I'm finna show up like, here my birth certificate. I'm 13. I'm clean shave. I'm 13.
You just start
You
dropping
gotta-
buckets.
You gotta park
Buckets on
his car down the street so he can walk up to the game.
with my Adrian College lacrosse bag on my shoulder.
Yeah, this might actually be one of my favorite episodes of Stick Talk, bro. We're cruising through this right now. We're having a damn day. DJ, those jerseys behind you are sick as hell too, bro.
Oh, yeah.
The amount of money I've spent on PLL jerseys is actually too much.
All right. Well, that's crazy. But speaking of things that are crazy, let's take a look at this play from the Princeton Cornell game. Okay. Our relax and take note segment sponsored by lax.com. Let's take a look at this play right here.
Palumbo. Julie checking him back up top. Kabiri. On the shorty, Christopher Davis. He steps back and scores!
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh. Did he hear Quint?
Oh.
Right where you're supposed to be, announcer supposed to be even kill. Quint was like, nah, that was it.
Brother, I watched that shit live. First, all you heard was, as soon as he hit that thing, I was like, ooh, who hurt you? Who hurt you? Why did you do that?
Why are you so angry?
Why are you so angry? I straight up, if I was the defender, I would have looked at him and like, bro, what you do that for?
That corner took his girl out to dinner.
Oh God, he did something crazy to you, bro.
I love that move, man. You don't have enough room on the wing, so you just take a step back and just pull it. Come on, man. You
gotta be feeling yourself to do that. To even take that shot, you gotta be like, man, you know what? What? I'm gonna stop it. I ain't even gonna pass this thing.
Barry's a dog.
Just like that. Oh
yeah, he's really built like that. Yo, Nate is something else. That was a hell of a play. I know when in the group chat when we were texting, or at least Shane and I, it was all caps in the chat.
Yeah,
I just knew the tone. I knew the tone after I saw that play.
Yeah, I was like, it got cold. It got cold in my apartment. I was like, damn. Ooh. Yeah.
Well, that's the relax and take notes segment. But Shane, time for the man, the myth, the legend. Check it out.
Here we go.
Yeah, my boy Shane A. Smith, yeah, he is bald, but he know what he's saying when it comes to ball, cause he's Shane A. Smith. What? What? Hey, cause he's Shane A. Smith.
Don't nobody say shit. I gotta say something real quick. Don't nobody say nothing. The worst part about that is that it's like almost good. It's close. It's almost good. You put in just enough effort to piss me off. That's the worst part. It was close. You put in
Yo.
just enough effort to piss me off. I low-key gotta fade you when I see you. I low-key gotta run the hands because that's close. You really thought about that. You did the whole anyway.
Shane, I'm not gonna lie. I came up with both of your songs. I downloaded GarageBand. I came up with both of your songs.
It sounds
I was
like
gonna
it.
say that sounds like GarageBand.
It sounds like GarageBand. You had a little backtrack in there too. The ad libs. I'm sick to my stomach. I really gotta fade you after this. Honestly.
Can you make all PLL week recaps in GarageBand songs?
I might.
Please.
That might be a good content idea, yo.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Oh, speaking of ass, here we go. Let's talk about Ohio State and Maryland. Let's talk about this. So, first of all, I turned on my TV, and to my surprise, I'm watching the Big Ten championship. Here I am, somebody who's made pick'ems all year long. All year long, I picked against Maryland. I was never on that Maryland train. I was never on the Maryland hype. All year long, I picked against Maryland. This game, I thought to myself, you know what? Maryland might have the pieces. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. Let's talk about something. I want to go through, if you don't mind, I want to go through a little bit of the box score for this Maryland-Ohio State game.
They said
First
it was
quarter.
close, Shade A. Smith.
They said it was close. They said it was close. They said it was close. The closest that Maryland had to this game was after Ohio State scored their first goal. After that, Ohio State treated Maryland like a 5-year-old that just got on the counter when he knew he shouldn't.
Get your ass down.
Ohio State treated Maryland like a child that disrespected their parent for the first time ever. And it sent a message. At no point in this game, in the first, hold on. I need to address something real quick. Mr. Guggs in the chat said if you go quarter by quarter outside of the first quarter, it was a close defensive game. He said it was a close defensive game. The first quarter was 6-1. 6-1. You are the number 3. You're the 3 seed. You're playing against Ohio State. You were top 3 all year, and you were losing in the first quarter 6-1. In the second quarter, the score was what? 9-5. 9-5. Okay, yeah, no problem. Maryland could come back from that. Wrong. Come back out in the second half. Now you're losing. Now you lose the third quarter, 4-3. 13-8. 13-8. And then you come back in the fourth quarter and you lose the game 14-10. When I say I watched a belt to ass appointment setting, rectifying, get your ass down, get your ass in this house, type beating, you would have sworn that everybody in Maryland called somebody from Ohio State's mom something crazy outside of their name for the entire duration of the game. At some point, I started to feel bad. I started to feel like, oh, man, what's going on? We talking about Caleb Fayok. Yeah. I had to explain to my wife for the first time that they call him Big Tasty. And I quickly moved past that conversation because I didn't want to go into the details of that. But yeah, you call him Big Tasty. Let's talk about some goalie play here. Logan McNaney went 42%. You went 42%. Logan McNaney, I've got some bad news for you. You and Jack Kelly need to get into the gym together. Okay? You and Jack Kelly need to get some workouts together.
Bruh.
Okay? Okay? You and Jack Kelly need to get workouts together. And I know who should teach you, and it's Caleb Fire. The way he did y'all boys this year in this game. Here I am thinking, oh, Maryland is the type of team to show up. And then I quickly remembered how they also got their ass beat in the national championship of last year, too. And then it started to occur to me, damn. Is it all downhill from 2022? Look, it might be. It might be. It might be. And the only other team that got a belt-to-ass performance like this was Duke versus North Carolina. It was a point in that game I thought North Carolina was going to do just like their brethren in North Carolina as well, like the Chaos did in their game last year when they tried to call out stick talk. Had Graham Hossack scoring more goals than your entire team.
They still haven't scored.
They still haven't scored. For a second, I was confused. I was terrified.
Stick talk curse.
Oh, well, boy. Hey, Maryland, I hope you find it. I hope you find it this year. I hope you find it in this NCAA tournament. Because if I remember correctly, the last time I thought, oh, Maryland should be winning this game, they got another belt-to-ass performance by Army, if you recall. It's okay. It's okay. Hey, so last thing I'm gonna say, Logan McNaney, you're a fantastic goalie. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I want you to do me one favor. I want you to go on your internet, okay? And I want you to go to elevatelacrosse.com.
Oh, damn.
And I want you to get that Elevate goalie. I want you to put it in cage. I want you to go and find a chair. Have your teammates take some shots, okay? You're going to notice there are a couple of them that are going to hit that body, okay? I want you to just take a chair, take some notes, okay? I think your save percentage would have gone up. Okay? That's all I got to tell you, okay?
Man.
That's all I got to say.
Yo, I'm going to have to bleep out all the times you done said elevate today. Because we're getting them free marketing.
They owe us money at this point.
Tell them, bring me my money.
He's got to say not a sponsor first.
Not a
Right.
sponsor. Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Last
Super
game.
organic.
Appreciate that, AJ. That's free game right there.
That's it. That's it. Well, now you're telling me you hope Maryland finds it, okay? Well, we got to talk about Hampton finding a new coach. Hold up. Wait a minute. Now, let me start this conversation the right way. All right. Hampton University doesn't re-sign Chaz Woodson. Probably the biggest news last week. I know I was like, yo, somebody has to make a video about this ASAP. Luckily, I made a video about it. And I got a range of emotions coming back about that video. Listen, I'm 100% down with what I said in that video. I think it's crazy that Hampton didn't re-sign Chaz Woodson. I think their athletic director or their athletic department doesn't understand what it takes to be at HBCU playing Division I lacrosse and how hard it is to get a win in maybe 4 years at a Division I level. And, you know, people, naysayers will say, yo, they're 0-50, but you're not acknowledging one of the main points in this conversation. And that was my problem. And a lot of the people who were responding to me about the video saying he was 0-50 were people who have no understanding of lacrosse, right? Being at HBCU is awesome. Hampton University itself, awesome. I have nothing but love for Hampton University. But being at HBCU in Division I lacrosse, a challenge. A matter of fact, It's even a challenge at Division II lacrosse, because I just looked at one of the HBCUs in D2 lacrosse. Apparently, it's a challenge there too. Okay. Now, I want people who don't play lacrosse to understand that you're choosing your people from the smallest pool in lacrosse. I'm going to be generous. Let's say we're 8%. People that look like us, 8% of lacrosse. Now, people in the comments are like, if Hampton University got those guys, we have a big enough group of people to make Hampton great. Hold up. What makes you think that the top of those 8% guys want to go to Hampton and play lacrosse? What? The cultural pull is big enough for us to go to Hampton? As a coach, what do you pitch to a 4 or 5-star lacrosse player and go, yo, we've got a legacy and you're doing something great for the culture? And the Johns Hopkins coach is saying something else to you. Full ride. The position of being HBCU in college lacrosse is challenging, and I just want people to understand how hard it is to get those top-notch Black players. And it's not a 4-year process to build a program there, especially a successful program. So when people were not acknowledging that and just looking at the end line as in the 0-50, and we're like, yo, that's a fireable offense in anything, you're refusing to acknowledge one of the main points. Now, I'm interested. What do you guys have to think about this situation?
You want to go, Shane? Okay.
No, go for it, Brian. Go for it, Brian.
Okay, yeah, I can start off. It's everything that Scotty said. So it's a few things at play. I was looking at the data when Scotty was talking. I don't think they've done a new one recently, but the last one the NCAA did in 2020, it's 3.86% of lacrosse players that play Division I are Black. 3.86. So from what if this data is correct, they're saying there's 584 of 15,000 plus. So this is from 2020. I couldn't find one that was a more recent data. So when you're talking about a small pool, you have a puddle, essentially 584 players. And the things that are at play are, it's a historically Black college. So you have a small pool of players. Every player on their team's not Black. So it's not a thing where they only recruiting Black players. So get that out of your mind. But I think it's what the issue is. So from the HBCU part of it, HBCUs historically don't care about athletics. HBCUs operate like Ivy League schools, where Ivy League schools are like, we're academic institutions. You all can do extracurriculars, but we're an academic institution. That's how the HBCUs operate. I was tapped into HBCU, like social around the time when Deion Sanders was at Jackson State, and there was arguments because Jackson State was one of those schools that put money into athletics. They historically always have a really big fan base, and there were other ADs that were like, we don't care about sports. We're not putting in the effort, the money that Jackson State is. Bethune-Cookman tried to do it with Ed Reed. And then remember, Ed Reed had them boys picking up trash, doing community service, and the admins were like, nah, you can't do that because you bring in heat to the university we don't want. And they fired him because they wanted to try to get that athletic money. So it's when we say that they're not backed by administration, that's what we're talking about. They don't care. Hampton's fan base was in shambles a couple years ago when they switched from the MEAC, the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, to the CAA. Their football team has struggled. Their men's and women's basketball teams have struggled. As a sports administration, they're struggling. A lot of HBCU switching leagues have been struggling because you have a small pool. So again, like Scotty said, it's difficult when they weren't playing a full Division I schedule until Chaz Woodson got there. That's I think it was a Coach Carter. There's nothing on him because he's trying to build the program up. So they're just getting into Division I. You have players where you were trying to get these 584 Black lacrosse players predominantly to come play. To Scotty's point, if you take, I don't want to name any players currently because Nakai doesn't play anymore, say Nakai. And Chaz, when it comes to Nakai, it's hard for Hampton to say, we want you to play, look at our facilities, and he can go to Duke. I've been to Duke's campus. Duke has a lake on their campus.
It's
Duke has
beautiful.
Duke has ACC money. That's not to say Hampton doesn't have a beautiful campus, but athletically, they're up.
We're not.
So when you're 18 years old, it's hard to get young people in the time of now NIL money, where lacrosse isn't getting a lot of NIL money, but the facilities being in Syracuse facilities get built up. They have a Carmelo Anthony Center. Carmelo Anthony, who just made it to the Hall of Fame. They have certain type of facilities that is different. Ohio State, Michigan, football Rutgers, this football money. It trickles down where we can bring you to these places. It's hard to get an 18-year-old to be like, look at this locker room that looks similar to a high school locker room. You're gonna have one helmet. You might have to buy your gloves like they do in Division 3, and it's different. It's hard to get a bunch of kids to do that. So then he's trying to build it. Look like the players are enjoying themselves. They were trying to get the wins. They're gonna be Mercyhurst. Mercyhurst, Division 2 power. Iona started their had an MCLA program because that was the other school that people were talking about. They didn't play last year. They brought in all their freshmen. They played and practiced all spring last year. They won 2 games. Mercer's been a program for 15 years. They have 2 years above 500. One they were 500. The COVID shortened year, I think they were 5-1. It is hard to start Division 1 programs, and you're starting it from a puddle because it's a small pool of players. It's damn near impossible. More teams leave Division 1 lacrosse than start Division 1 teams. And they did it with no infrastructure. There was no club team prior. They didn't have a bunch of kids it was, let's find kids that played lacrosse at some point. Might have played in middle school, might have played a couple years in high school. Then you're tossing them to play the Towsonds, the Hofstras, the Stony Brooks. It's hard. And it was never a look at it from a wins and loss standpoint. It's difficult to start. So hopefully I didn't go too long, but
No, I think you hit the nail on the head a lot. Shane, do you got anything to say about this?
I just want to. That's 500. It's 582. You said
584 from that statistic from the NCAA.
Hey, I'm gonna tell
In
you the truth.
2020.
584 of them boys that are playing Division 1 aren't Division 1 talent either. Not 100% of them boys can really play. They might have had a couple of good games. They might have had a couple of good summers, but not all of them are going to be. We're not talking about all 5 stars. Not all the 584 of them are all 5 stars. Some of them are like 2 stars, 3 stars. There are some. I mean, like look at Bobby Van Buren, look at Nikai Montgomery, Miles Jones, all those. Oh, yeah, sure. Let's say all of them go and play at Hampton. The reality is, like you said, I'm not on the East Coast. I didn't play lacrosse on the East Coast, so I don't know how Hampton is viewed on the East Coast in terms of like post college. Whether you're gonna a job or what they're known for, whatever. But at the end of the day, if I am a recruiter and I'm looking right, because we're talking about lacrosse. We're not talking about making a bunch of money playing pro lacrosse after, right? We're talking about what you're going to do in college, getting a degree. If I'm looking at my life after college, I'm going to want a degree from Michigan, Duke, Virginia, Syracuse, Hopkins, especially if I'm getting into medicine, rather than Hampton. It's just what it is, and it's not a dig on Hampton. It's just a lot of these schools are known for those things. They're well-known names. You see them on the resume. You know what they're about, and that's what you're working against, right? And like now, finally, we're seeing more parity as a result of other institutions starting to kind of make a bigger name for themselves. Other programs starting to bigger name for themselves. So we're not just getting kids to go to the Blue Bloods like we used to. We're getting kids to go all over the place for a lot of other reasons. But ultimately, like the offering is weaker. That's just what it is. And to blame lacrosse on this and for you to be more focused on the lacrosse of it all. I don't know if Hampton has a football team. I know that they have a basketball team. They have a football team. Okay,
Yes.
The fact that I wouldn't know that, and think about the NFL draft. all of these guys don't go to HBCUs. When's the last time we had an HBCU, a guy graduate from an HBCU play in the NFL? I guarantee you it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, because they talked about it. Yeah, it usually comes up every year. How long it's been since a player's been drafted?
The sports of an HBCU are not as integral to the culture of an HBCU as one might think in general. And we're not going to, what I hate about the whole Chaz Woodson thing is we're not going to have a conversation about whether or not Chaz Woodson can be a leader of men and a true pioneer for the game of lacrosse. We're not going to have that conversation. That's a disingenuous conversation. Chaz Woodson is like that. Chaz Woodson is him. There is no question about that. So if he can't get it done, then there's probably an issue systemic into the athletics program. I'm not going to sit. You're not going to sit here and convince me that that he's like what you're going to try and tell me Chaz Wilson was lazy. He mismanaged things. Come on, brother. I'll tell you what. It takes a special type of man to come back year after year for year 5 after losing for 4 years straight and still come out with the same energy to recruit and put the pen to paper on a lot of these guys and to get it. You're not going to convince me. Sorry.
Going off of that, Shane, I think it takes a special type of man to have the record you have and then still have kids completely bought into what you're doing.
So I just want to say, we don't say bought in. It's something I believe in as a coach. We say believe in. Because I'm not selling anything to you. I just want you to believe in myself and what we're doing as a program. So you got guys to believe in him and his program consistently. Yeah. But one thing that I didn't really hear come up in this conversation was how hard it is to recruit there because of the differences of lacrosse. Do you know how hard it is to be in the culture and play lacrosse? It doesn't really fit. So do these dudes want to go to a culture-based school where they don't really fit? Or do they want to go to a Townsend, a Syracuse, a Duke, where they're going to have friends? Where it's going to be famous on campus, where people are going to want to come see their games. They're going to go there. They fit in there. They don't really fit in at an HBCU. They're an outlier at an HBCU. And not because they're not black, but because so many of the things that they do in life are not necessarily a part of the culture. So like, some of the jokes you have in lacrosse don't hit with the culture. Some of the things you do in lacrosse don't hit with the culture. So how are we really expecting them to be in a place where everybody is unapologetically black and they're doing something that isn't quite black? That's another recruiting barrier that they have to face is they're coming to school and they don't really fit in, but everybody else does. And then they got white teammates and everybody else doesn't. Like there's a lot there that gets in the way of that, which leads me to my next point. Should I come out of retirement? I have 3 years left. Should I just play at Hampton?
No, yeah. Are you
going to go to grad school and play at Hampton?
Are you D1 good? Because I got to know if someone's lying to you.
No. Not even close. I'm going to get out there and get embarrassed every week.
Yeah, but they have some ballers up.
Go guard Mikey Whiteshower.
Please.
All-American that plays in the CAA.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Man, I'm rooting for you. Really, it ain't looking good, but I'll root for you.
Really quick, guys. This is what I love, right? We have this platform, and we have people who are naysayers, or who have opposite views that we have. Okay, and some people might have been in school at Hampton and might not see it the way we do, but we have somebody in the comments, Big Sal. The players that go to Hampton want and believe in the HBCU experience. Academically, Hampton University is a solid institution, compares favorably to the schools in their conference. Chaz had no college coaching experience, came straight from high school and Nations United. The Lax players fit into the culture fully.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's good to know they fit in the culture fully.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
you're still not going to convince me about Chaz Woodson, though. You're still not going to convince me about Chaz Woodson. It doesn't matter that he coached at in high school. Lacrosse is lacrosse. If you you're not going to convince me that even as a college coach, that like no, sorry, I'm not buying, I'm not going to buy into that. You can yeah, sure, the cultural aspect, I totally I get what you're saying, but I don't care where he, what his previous coaching experience was. That's a Hall of Famer. That's a
Yeah.
Hall of Famer. Like, we're not gonna like, what are we talking about?
So another thing I was faced with was, what does success look like in 4 years if your team goes 0-50? How do you measure it? And my whole thing was around building a foundation where players want to be at. You can't. The record, yes, important, but this is a exception situation, right? I just feel like you set your kids up and you set your school up. You get the equipment, you get a locker room for kids that want to go to your school. Hey man, it's a challenging thing to go 0-50, but those guys, Chaz was on his way to building something. Stove wasn't even hot yet. I know it's hard to believe if you're not inside of it, inside the lacrosse world, and fully understand all of it. But man, I have a tough time with him just being let go like that. I have tough time believing they're gonna find somebody better. Now, I did say in the video, I want to make sure you guys understand. When I say 2 wet logs and asking somebody to make a fire, I ain't talking about players at all.
No.
That's not what that means. We're talking about the resources. We're talking about we're talking about all of it. Okay,
making a way out of no way.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I ain't talking a single thing about players. I would never say that about players unless I really don't like you.
Yeah.
Okay? Now,
I might though, but he wouldn't.
The other thing was, I talked about who's gonna want this job. Now, do I actually think no one's gonna want this job? No, not really. But you know what would be in my head if I was in this situation? I'd be like, oh shoot, they was ready to knock him out the door already in this situation. All right, what makes me want to give this a go? Right.
Yeah.
So I've heard of some people already going for the job. Hey, best of luck to you. And the boys on Stick Talk are gonna be your number one fans.
That's a fact.
But it's also fair, and I think HBCU fans have to be okay with this. You're a Division I sport, bro. You're gonna get scrutiny regardless of what decision you
100%.
make. So when somebody's talking about you in a negative way, it has nothing to do with Hampton University itself. We're talking Stick about Hampton Lacrosse because you know why? We can. And there's no problem with that. All right. So that's what I have to say about Hampton Lacrosse. We're hoping for the best. It was a great conversation with all this. Hopefully Hampton succeeds in the future, and good luck to whoever gets it. Brian, let me hear you. You gotta I don't know, your microphone might be messing up a little bit. Let me hear what you were saying, big dog.
Did it work?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I just said shout out to the players. We were rooting for y'all because none of this has to do with any of the players. We're not coming at none of the players. We're talking about the actual team and the like administration and how they did it. Because I feel terrible for the players. And when players are coming in the comments that played for Chaz talking about how great of a person he is, he did exactly what he needed to do. That's why we talk about it's more than wins and losses. Because like Shane said, and DJ, I know you coach as well. You're building people just as much as you're building
A
lacrosse
leader
players.
of men. A leader of men.
And I think it was really overlooked at how he got those guys to come out every single day.
Yeah.
Excited to play lacrosse. Like, I think that's one of the things that my parents like about me the most is like my first year coaching high school lacrosse, we didn't win a single game. But every single parent came up to me after the season and said, my son had so much fun playing lacrosse this year. It didn't matter what the score was or anything. You guys just came out and played.
That's
and they played hard. You know what I'm saying? That's success, is getting a group of guys to come out and play hard for you regardless of what's going on. And that's what Chaz was able to do week in and week out every single day. He got 20, 30, 40 some guys to come out and play for him and play hard for 40 or 60 straight minutes every game. They played hard for 60 minutes. You're not going to find too many coaches that are able to do that with those circumstances. You see guys start to get bored. You see guys start to drop off. You see guys quit. You see guys giving up on plays in the middle of a game because we're going to lose anyway. That never happened with Hampton.
Mhm.
And you can't just let that fall through the cracks. You got to keep a guy like that there, knowing in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, he's going to bring in some guys that are not only going to play hard for him, but have the skill to make you guys successful. They literally just dropped the ball on probably the best coach they will ever get. I don't think Hampton will get a better coach than Chaz Woodson.
We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. We'll
I-
definitely see.
yeah.
We could go on about this topic all day long, okay? But once again, for anybody from Hampton University listening to this, we are fans of Hampton University. We just disagree with the decision, okay? That's it. Don't take it personal, all right? But, guys, it is 11:39 in the best state in the world, okay? That means New Jersey. So your boy has to sign off because we got work tomorrow, dog. We got work tomorrow. All right, don't look at me like that, yo. But once again, guys, thanks for joining us on Stick Talk. It's your boys, Brian, Shane, and yours truly, Scotty. Shout out to DJ for joining the boys today. We'll catch you next time on the next episode of Stick Talk. Peace out.
Peace.
Yes.